It had been one of those days that felt longer than it should have. Finals were over, graduation was just a week away, and I had returned home feeling like my head was stuffed with too many thoughts. My muscles were tight, my brain fried, and honestly, all I wanted was a hot shower and silence. The moment I got into the bathroom, I twisted the faucet to the hottest setting I could handle and let the water steam up the entire room. It felt like my whole body was finally beginning to relax under the falling water. I closed my eyes, leaned my head back, and let the tension slide off my skin. No more late-night cramming, no more caffeine-fueled breakdowns. I was home. Temporarily, yes, but home all the same. Mom and Dad were out of town visiting my aunt in Florida for the weekend, which left me and Dylan alone in the house. Dylan, my stepbrother, though we'd been raised together since our early teens, was quiet, dependable, and respectful to a fault. We weren't close growing up, mostly because we kept to ourselves. I always thought of him as just there. He was the guy who never left dishes in the sink, played video games with his headset on so I wouldn't hear, and always said goodnight from the hallway, but never actually walked into my room. We had that kind of rhythm, comfortable, distant, and never complicated. So, that Saturday, I didn't think twice when I went to shower without locking the door. After all, it was just Dylan, and I thought he was out at the gym. I was mid-rinse, fingers in my wet hair, eyes closed when the door creaked open. "Hey, I thought you were—" His voice froze mid-sentence. I gasped. Water still running, I opened my eyes and turned toward the sound, but the curtain swayed, half-drawn, revealing nothing more than shapes and steam. My heart dropped. "Dylan!" I called out. "Oh my God, I'm sorry!" He yelped, and the door slammed shut. I stood there, frozen under the water. My brain raced. Did he see anything? Did I care? I mean, yes, of course I did. But it wasn't embarrassment that hit me first. It was a strange, unexpected flutter in my chest. Something warm and confusing. I finished up quickly, trying to ignore how red my cheeks were, whether from the heat or the situation, I couldn't tell. Wrapped in a towel, I stepped out and spotted a folded piece of paper under the bathroom door. It was simple, rushed. "I didn't know you were home. I'm so sorry, Dylan." He could have just texted me, but he didn't. He left a note, handwritten. That felt different, more real. I debated staying in my room for the rest of the night, avoiding him, but my feet moved before I could stop them. I walked down the hallway, still slightly damp, still wrapped up tight, unsure of what I was going to say or do. His bedroom door was open. Dylan sat on the edge of his bed, his hands buried in his hair. When he saw me in the doorway, his whole face tensed. "I didn't mean to walk in," he said immediately. "I didn't know you were back." "I know," I said softly. "It was just surprising. I should have knocked. I should have locked the door." We both let out a soft laugh. The tension broke just a little, like a crack in a wall we'd both quietly built. There was silence then, but it wasn't heavy. It was thoughtful. I stepped inside carefully, like I didn't want to break anything between us. "I'm really sorry," he said again, standing up. "You didn't see anything, did you?" He looked away. "Just your back. Nothing else. I swear I didn't look. I shut the door right away." "Okay," I said, and to my own surprise, I smiled. "Thanks for not being weird about it." He smirked. "Too late for that." I sat down on the edge of his bed. My towel was still wrapped tight, but somehow I didn't feel exposed, not in the way I expected. Just nervous, curious. "You know," I said slowly, "this is probably the first real conversation we've had in years." "Yeah," he said, nodding. "Usually it's like, "Hey, the Wi-Fi's acting up," or "Are there any Pop-Tarts left?" I laughed. Exactly. I guess I didn't realize how little I really know you. Same. That got us talking. For the next 2 hours, we stayed in his room, just chatting. We talked about our majors, old high school friends, weird stuff from childhood. I learned he wanted to be a firefighter. He found out I was thinking of writing a book. We laughed a lot, more than I thought we would. When I finally stood up to leave, he walked me to my room. As I stepped inside, I turned around and smiled. "Night, Dylan." "Night," he said. Again. "Sorry." "It's okay. Really?" And it was. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of something sweet. I followed it to the kitchen where Dylan was flipping pancakes with a messy apron over his t-shirt. He looked up and grinned. "Thought I'd make breakfast to make up for last night." "You're forgiven," I said, sitting at the table, "especially if there's syrup." "There's syrup," he said proudly, "and whipped cream.